Patterns do tend to come naturally to me. I'm not sure why. All I can think of is I liked knitting and sewing and craft as a child, and I think that kind of gets into you, those very long, repeated, process-oriented activities. My name's Elizabeth Pulie, and I've got some work in the National which is using fabric, hessian, wool, other fabrics in combination. I've painted on hessian for some of it, embroidered it, various things. The way I see making art is that you're saying this is what art is. Other people probably are trying to convey a message, or they're just compelled to make these particular types of objects, whereas to me it's kind of a statement saying this is what art is now. And so it's gratifying to have that voice, but it's scary as well because you're making yourself vulnerable. It feels like my practice has changed quite a bit over the years. Initially, I had a very restricted project that I set myself as a young person with an interest in decor and decoration. I loosened its parameters after about 10 years or so and lost an interest in producing objects as art at that point. And I decided to focus more on the art world or on the lives of artists. I was sort of searching for something that I felt was unique to art practice, and I decided to run my own projects in the early 2000s. I ran a gallery in this room in my house. It just went from 02 to 03, and it was a project where I would exhibit particular artists that I was interested in. The art community that I'm part of did feel different back in the days that we were running Front Room. It was a bit more do-it-yourself, perhaps. Social media was not happening so much. After a while, we also had artists exhibiting in the kitchen simultaneously, so it was like 2 exhibition spaces. So for the first couple of exhibition openings, there'd be a few friends left behind, and we would invite them in just to keep the party going. It would be, say, 8:30, 9 o'clock, and everyone's hungry. Usually artists offered to cook the meal and then instituted it as a standard thing for every opening. I think it was just an organic thing. Yeah, we had some memorable meals. People that were a bit less gregarious and didn't like crowds might sort of find their way out here to hang out while the cooking was going on. And you know how at parties everyone gathers in the kitchen, it's the inevitable. So I suppose we sort of just went with that flow too, like just accepted that this would be packed in here. Like you could barely get through, it got that busy. So it's kind of a mix of domesticity and parties and art. Working with other people, facilitating their exhibitions and their articles and writing was satisfying in that I got to say what happened. I was sort of in charge. I felt a sense of control, but at the same time I wasn't able to express my concerns or thoughts about what art was. It was like I had to take a back seat and facilitate others. So I felt like I wanted to try to get back to having my own voice in terms of making a statement about what art is. Going into the National, because it's a survey of current Australian art, it's exciting because you're being included in what's perceived to be a group of artists that may have practices that are interesting in terms of some sort of national profile. I wanted to make a new work because it felt like an opportunity to push my practice a bit further in a public realm. After doing acrylic on canvas for 25 years or so, I switched to sewing or painting on hessian and making tassels and embroidery. And yeah, I'm finding that very satisfying because it's like a part of my upbringing was doing all that sort of work. My yoga teacher appeared to me in a dream and thanked me for the cape I sent him, so I thought I would make that as a work. The word guru means shedding light in the darkness or just imparting wisdom, so I wanted to make this colourful top part represent the light of wisdom coming into the darkness. Doing more embroidery and sewing work has felt good. I enjoy painting. But I feel like sewing has less expectation around it as art, whereas a painting has the weight of history and as a serious object, so it perhaps is a barrier to really being able to express myself. And I just really enjoy the process of sewing. It's been freeing, I would say.